All right, this is lecture 4 for the Cold War. Today we're going to talk about civil defense. We have a new weapon being created. It's called the hydrogen bomb. It's 700 times more powerful than the bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima, and it, is entering the thermonuclear age. So it's more extreme than the atomic age. The Soviet Union doesn't get their bomb until 1953, and they go thermonuclear, creating the hydrogen bomb in 1955. So in 1955, we really start to get worried about what the Soviets are capable of, and we have to kind of determine what we're going to do to try to protect ourselves from the Soviets in case we are attacked on our homeland. So that's what we're talking about today. So we're talking about the Secretary of State, Dulles. He meets with Eisenhower, and they kind of talk about what they should do in order to protect themselves. And when you have nuclear weapons, the goal is to never have to use them. And so the policies that they're going to create are going to make it so that they're never going to have to use them. So their policy is called brinkmanship, and that's going all the way to the brink of war, full thermonuclear war, without actually crossing that line. And the threat of full nuclear war, thermonuclear war, is a deterrent to war, and that's kind of what they're hoping. So that if we build these massive stockpiles of thermonuclear weapons that can destroy the Earth, 10 times over, then hopefully the other side won't be dumb enough to actually want to attack you. So we expanded our air power along with the USSR, and this was giving us the ability to transport these high thermonuclear weapons across the ocean and drop them on targets. And this comes to the idea of mutually assured destruction. Its nickname is MAD. It's kind of fitting, basically saying that if you destroy us, then we will destroy you as well. You may think that you could just drop, hundreds of hydrogen bombs all across the United States or the Soviet Union and just completely wipe them off the map. The problem is now we have submarines that are able to stockpile, 10 to 20 warheads, and we can launch those at a country. So even if our mainland gets destroyed, we have, 10 nuclear submarines that each hold 10 to 20 thermonuclear weapons, and now we can launch those at the country as well. So you're not going to get out of it unscathed no matter what happens. So if I attack you, I'm going to be destroyed, and that's kind of the idea that is going to prevent war. And that's why we have such an enormous arms race during the Cold War. So at home, we kind of need to figure a way to protect ourselves, so we create the United States Civil Defense, and it has its origins in 1916. And what it's like during World War I, and basically we're obviously not worried of being attacked because there's no planes and stuff, so we're not going to be attacked on the homeland. But we are worried about some people sabotaging our factories. We're not in the war yet, so there may be someone from Germany comes over and blows up a factory from inside, and that's kind of what we're concerned about. So they're looking at that sort of thing. Post World War II, civil defense focused on dealing with the threat of nuclear war. And civil defense basically encourages the building of bomb shelters or fallout shelters and storing supplies in order to survive a nuclear attack. And that's kind of the huge thing, is that it's making a nuclear attack survivable, so the people are not as scared. And everyone thinks about a nuclear weapon and during the Cold War and the fact that maybe it could happen, but civil defense techniques are actually going to help to calm the worries, and even if we are attacked by a nuclear weapon, we could survive it. And obviously that's not possible. Maybe if you are far enough away, but if you're directly hit by a nuclear weapon, you're gone. Especially these new thermonuclear weapons, which are gonna just completely destroy everything. All right, here's a couple of posters, and you look at this poster on the left over here, and it says serving you in a time of emergency, and that's for civil defense. And you look at these people that are in a boat in their city or in their little town, it doesn't look so promising. And then it says you can protect yourself from radioactive fallout, but it looks like the whole city is destroyed. So, the fact that you could survive it maybe, but then there's also nuclear fallout, and you have to stay underground for a long time in your bomb shelter. So, it's not really that realistic. All right, so here's what fallout shelters would look like. They were tiny, mostly 10 by 15. It's a last-ditch emergency to save yourself. And you can see the basement surrounded by sandbags here, and who knows how safe that is, especially since it's right underneath the floorboards. It probably would need to be way deeper. So what Civil Defense did is they provided the plans for backyard shelters. You can build your own. The effectiveness is questionable, and again, the main thing is that it made the public believe that a nuclear war was survivable, so that it wasn't just If a bomb dropped, boom, we're dead. Okay, so people wouldn't really be able to live their lives the way that they should be able to live them. They knew that the chances that it actually happened wasn't that great. So why should we live our whole lives in fear and then lose productivity in society and in the economy? All right, and that's it for civil defense for today.